Hello guys, and welcome back to new video and to a new backtesting session. It's been some time since I did one of these, and I think this is the right time to do another video backtesting my strategy, going through all data with you guys. I really enjoy these backtesting sessions. I'm like hyper focused because I'm recording, of course, while my usual backtesting session I'm not like 100% focused. So I really like to do recording myself to backtesting sessions like this, and I also like to answer your questions during the backtesting. It makes it a lot easier seeing price print, right? So let's choose a random day from here as always. Choosing a random day, and we're gonna take it to FX replay for the backtesting, right? Okay, so it's gonna be this one right here. So let's take it to FX replay. Let's do a 10k challenge or 10k balance account. We're gonna do NQ as always, but of course you can choose any pair you want. And let me remind you that the concepts that I'm gonna use are all DTFX, so make sure to check his content and also my previous videos to know how I look at his concepts. Alright, so it's gonna be a Friday. And let's forward price to 10 a.m. Alright, good, we are ready. So let's start from the higher time frame and higher time frame to lower time frame analysis, again to identify whether we are in a higher time frame pullback. Again, whether we are in a higher time frame expansion or a pullback, we need to identify in which phase we are. That's for an uptrend. For a downtrend, whether we are pulling back or expanding. Okay, so let's go to the hour. Obvious uptrend. I hope you can see it. A very obvious uptrend. That's on the 1 hour, and this whole move is a higher time frame pullback, so maybe a daily pullback, and this will represent a daily expansion leg. The target is of course this high right here, okay? And this is an hourly uptrend. So if we go to the daily, you're gonna see it clearly. All right, exactly. Not a daily pullback, maybe you can call it a weekly pullback into something here, probably an imbalance, and then trading to the upside. A daily pullback is gonna be something like this, from here to here, or here. This is a daily pullback to this zone, but this is a weekly pullback. Here you go. Pulling back into something to here. Let's go to the monthly. Yeah, so beautiful top into this imbalance, fair value gap, and then the next high is of course, or the next target is this one right here. We already tapped into it. Let's go back to the weekly. I don't need these time frames, but just to show you how you can identify in which phase you are, whether on the or in expansion, pullback, how that looks like in the higher time frame, how the lower time frame reacts based on that information from the higher time frame, right? So this is how you do your analysis and multi-time frame analysis. Okay, so the weekly and daily, the target still untapped, right? Let's remove this. Go back to the 1 hour. But you can see that the trend here is really strong. And you can see that, so it's not good to look for pullback trades. You can look for like short-term trades or short positions, but only scalps. You can see that the pullback is really shy. We have an expansion, a shy pullback, another expansion, a shallow pullback, another expansion. This one was a deep pullback, but as you can see, shallow pullback here. So you don't want to capitalize on these moves right here, right? It's better to look for continuations. I feel like this backtesting session is going to be longer than the usual. But as I said, I enjoy these backtesting sessions. So what do we have on the higher time frame? You can see that I also use sweeps. It really helps me with identifying the next target. So, but the thing here is that we have sweeps on both directions. You can see that price is failing to take the highs and failing to take the lows. So basically this is a ranging environment, right? Let's go to the 15-minute, but ranging environment on the 1 hour doesn't mean that we can't find clean trades on the 1 minute. So that's the beauty of lower time frames. Sometimes I see that 1 minute is very noisy or very ranging in a tight range. I simply go to the lower time frame, to the 15-second, to even the 5-second, and work with those ranges. So here what we have, after we fail to take that high, and after failing to close above it, we see this huge move to the downside. All right, that's expected. That's on the 15 minutes. And we also have a sweep on liquidity here. We have this high or this low still intact. Let's go to the 5 minutes. So we can definitely see another top into here. And maybe we're looking for long positions. We also have this unmitigated zone or partially mitigated. And we only have one top into it. I'm not going to consider this as a second top. So from this to this was a previous flip after the sweep of this lows right here. You can see the flip, market structure shift. And we can consider this as the first top and this as the second top. Or if we sweep this pot, still no sweep. Pay attention if price dips below this low right here. We're gonna look how the lower time frame reacts. Here what do we have? After the sweep of this high, we have the break of structure right here. The break of structure happened here, but this is also a break of structure on the higher time frame. So on the higher time frame, this right here is one move. Okay, that means that if this is the break of structure, this right here would be the SNDR, and this is also a sensitive area, and we're gonna look how price reacts to it. Okay, so that's on the 5 minute. Let's see if there's anything interesting in the 3 minute. Not really, but we can see the definition of the SNDR clearly. Now let's go to the 1 minute and see what's going to happen. Okay. You can see that price actually took liquidity from here, but this is only like one tick below it. But you can see the reaction. Nice. I prefer to see deeper second top, maybe to the 50%. So let's see what's gonna happen next. Don't force anything, okay? Let's see. Price is still in a tight range. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. Another top or another sweep on liquidity below these two lows, and this one and the previous one. So let's see what's gonna happen here. I'm really interested. Okay, so we closed above this, which is the zone or the candle that causes sweep. Ideally, we also close above this imbalance. Okay, so that's something. So what I want to see is if we're gonna return back to this and to take my entry, right? I also see that we have a lot of smooth edges below us or above us. So if price can give me the entry from here, it's going to be really good. So let's put the limit here and see if price is going to give me that. Let's place the order, buy limit. Still, we have this high untapped. Okay, so beautiful. So the logic of this trade very simple. We were waiting for the sweep on liquidity on here to call it the second top. Okay. Although we can definitely see another push to the downside to mitigate maybe the 50%, but still we can see the rejections when price takes a low and fail to close below it. And also we have beautiful targets above us. We had initially these right here, these three. Okay, let me draw this for you. And price after it gave me my entry, we had a new set of low resistance liquidity. This trend line liquidity, beautiful. The potential to take both these are very high. Let's see. Okay, maybe not, but price doesn't like to leave these highs like this, so we're gonna definitely see him move to the upside later on to take both of them. Let's continue. We still have a sweep right here. The move to the upside will happen after we break above these right here. So as long as we have these whole zones, this one and this one, price can easily continue to the downside. Okay, I have talked about this in one of my videos. Nothing in here. Although we have a sweep on the 4 minute, but the target is still this imbalance at first. Price can easily tap into it and then give me one more push to the downside. So this is one of the filters that I shared with you guys. And let me show you actually. Let me go to... So here you go. So this one right here, you can see that we have multiple sweeps, and price can easily reject from it, but tap into or face resistance from this zone right here. So if you want to take a long to maybe higher targets, you better wait for the break of, so the sweep happened here, wait for the break of this high. Or you can capitalize on the lower time frames, but your target should be the imbalance here, or maybe a short-term high inside this leg, but on the lower time frame. Okay, so let's put this into the side and let's continue. Let's go to the 1 minute. Totally forgot. Okay, so as you can see, eventually we liquidated this one and this one. As I said, price doesn't like to leave these behind. So let's remove them now. We don't need them. And let's continue. Now let's watch what price does after reaching this SNDR. We also have these highs right here that we can reject from. I'm not going to look for short after price takes them, because we are in an uptrend and we are moving away from a higher time frame zone. But as you can see, the first top, second top, just like we talked about in the beginning of this backtesting session. Let's now zoom in and let's see what price is going to do when tapping into this SNDR. Okay, so you can see that price is still pushing away from it. We swept the high. Don't go blindly and look for a one-to-one from the 50%. This is not how you trade DTFX. It's not a 50% entry every single time. Yes, you can capitalize on them, and there are going to be good zones that has high probability. I'm going to do a video about it later on, maybe in the next few days, about how to choose good zones that you can capitalize on. I can't though confirm to you that price is going to tap into the 50% of them. They have a higher probability of rejection, but whether price is going to tap into the 50% or not, I can't really know for sure. Let's see if price taps into here. As you can see, this zone was really high probable, and price never tapped into the 50%, right? I'm gonna do a video about how to choose good zones, right? But again, whether price is gonna reject and taps into the 50% and reject from it, I don't know. It depends on the trend. And so as you can see in this, for example, and we have like a weak uptrend. So you can see that we have deeper pullbacks, right? Deeper pullbacks into the 70% of the zone. Here also, but in a really strong trend down or uptrend, you will not get those 50% zones. You will be lucky if price even taps into that zone of yours, okay? So keep that in mind. So we tapped into this zone. Remember that we are in an uptrend, and just because we tapped into this SNDR doesn't mean we're going to go to the downside. It might offer a rejection, but it might offer a pullback only. That rejection can be only a pullback to the previous zones. So just like filter number 2. So no pullback plays if price hits a zone before reaching your limit. So this is kind of something similar to this. You can see that price swept the high of the SNDR like this. It ejected from it, but it tapped to what? To the previous zone, this one. And you don't want to short from here unless you see something interesting about this zone being violated. Although I don't recommend shorting at all from here. Let's continue. Price puts in the second top into the zone. Okay, so now we have something interesting. We have the break of structure of this zone. Now let's see if we're gonna get a reaction or a pullback to, I'm interested in this SNDR right here. Although it doesn't look like an SNDR, it's just a wick to wick, and this doesn't look like a valid pullback, so this is not a valid low, but still on the lower time frame, these two are valid, perfectly valid. So let's see if we're gonna get a shorting opportunity maybe from the SNDR. I'm gonna put my stop loss here, not here. And let's see if we're gonna take a 1 hour trade. Okay. Yeah, price does that sometimes. It looks like it reacted from the imbalance, and that's very unfortunate. This imbalance right here. So just remember, guys, that these opportunities happens a lot during the day. So don't get upset, because missing trades can really mess with your whole performance for the day. So let's remove this, and most certainly don't wait for price to don't wait for price to return back to here and take the entry. That train is gone. Okay, we were targeting this low maybe for the second top or in the liquidation of it, and then topping into this zone. So that's the low hanging fruit. Now doing this is very, very risky. Okay, even if it did work, it's gonna lose or it's gonna fail a lot of times. But let's talk about this trade, and let's imagine that the price gave me that entry. Okay, this was like only a tick, yeah. So let's talk about the logic behind it. First of all, let's talk about the stop loss. The stop loss is here because we swept this high right here. There is no reason for price to come back all the way to here, sweep it one more time, and then trade to the downside. One reason for that is that there's nothing here. Okay, there's nothing above this high to be mitigated, at least not in this time frame. So I moved all the way to here, and then reversing, it's not logical at all. Even though price can does this, but again, 9 out of 10 times it won't, and it will continue to take this high. Okay, now the entry is, we had this, just like the filter, we don't short from here because we still have this zone here. Okay, and it can easily reject price to the upside, and it did. But what happened next is that we violated it, like this break of structure of this zone. So that indicates that price is changing the order flow, the structure, call it whatever you want. And this was the zone responsible for the break of this. Okay, and we took our short from here, and the price didn't give us that. For example, today I missed a lot of opportunities, and I had to close the chart because it was getting insane. And the missed opportunities were like a tick, 2 ticks, 3 ticks away from my limit. So I had to close the chart because I know that I'm gonna miss things around. I'm gonna take emotional trades after. So let's remove this, and let's continue with this. How many? Okay, so we are half an hour into this backtesting session. Okay, I hope it's not boring. I always say this, but let's continue. I personally don't think it is boring, because watching price candle by candle is really, in a backtesting environment, in a safe environment, can be really relaxing, right? Okay, so we have a couple of sweeps here. I still don't like this. We have this zone that can easily push price to the downside. Now we violated that. We failed to close above it though. I definitely don't like this price action. But you can see that after we close above it, we have the push to the upside. So just like I said, this is gonna happen. This was the logical target. Liquidating this low, or his low, tapping into this zone, and as you can see, price did give us that pullback after all. But am I gonna take the short from here? Of course not. Even if it worked, I'm not gonna take it. I don't want to. This can be the expansion leg, and I don't want to reverse the expansion. So we're gonna leave this like here, and we're gonna see how price reacts to it. So, do you want to participate in this trade? Be my guest. For me, I won't. And I'm gonna keep this here, and I'm gonna pull up another filter that I talked about. If you use my filters, guys, it's gonna save you a lot of losses. Oh, not this. Okay, so which filter applies to this trade? Can you guess? Look to the left or to the right and see which one can be applied to here. We already seen the second filter here. That's one. We already seen the third filter, which it worked. So we don't take sweeps from direct previous swings. So we wait for that zone to get broken like this. We broke this zone here and we top to the upside. That's a third filter. What is this filter right here? Isn't it this? The seventh filter? Don't fight the trend by trying to reverse an expansion before the target is hit. So this is an expansion. The SNDR gave us the pullback. This right here, this was the previous setup, bearish setup. Price stops into here, and now we are doing another expansion leg, and you are trying to short from here. Expansion leg, this one. So don't try to short from here, because this is the next target. And very well, we tapped into it. And price can give you this, yes, it can easily give you this right here. But a lot of times it won't. You are fighting an expansion leg. You are fighting an expansion leg. I can't emphasize this enough. Don't fight an expansion leg. Go with it. So that's this thing a lot of traders get stuck into. Let's remove the filters for now. Oh, hello. So let's continue. The SNDR still pushing price to the downside. But you can see that we tapped into this. Can you guess what is this? I didn't see it. I didn't see it before. But this is the SNDR of this break of structure. So this is the break of structure. And this right here is the SNDR. just like this. This one is bigger, and it was responsible for this. This one was responsible for this. Beautiful push from it, but you can't really capitalize on it on the 1 minute time frame. Excuse me. There is nothing to work with on the 1 minute. Of course, you can look for a short opportunity on maybe the 15 or the 5 second. Let's continue. We tapped into this zone now. Okay, so this zone is, we are still with the second filter. One more time. Sweeping of that previous low or previous high. And this one. But still, we have a bullish zone to the left or the current trend. Let's continue. We can see another top from here, and you can look for longs because price is definitely bullish. Okay, so now we can expect it's not good to look for buying opportunities from here. You might say, why? Why is that? This is a good zone. But the thing is, if you look at it from a higher time frame perspective, this is an expansion, this is a pullback, this is another expansion, and we are looking now for a pullback. So it's not good to trade support and resistance. Wait for the pullback to happen and look for something here. Now, this isn't the case, of course, all the time, because sometimes the trend is too strong and we can see something like this and then another push. But you need to pay attention to this stuff. The concept is the same, but it looks different every single time, okay? This is why backtesting is important, so you can expose your eyes to all kind of situations, so you will not get surprised by anything in live trading. So the thing that we talked about here, about the expansion, pullback, another expansion, and don't look for buys from here, it is applicable here, you can say, but in a smaller scale. We have expansion, right? We have push to the upside, taking this high, and then this is what? Pullback, and this is a zone, right? But still, this is the top of the range. So from the filters, it's gonna be this one right here. No sweeps or no trades at the edges of a zone, which is this one right here. Let's remove these drawings. We swept this one right here. Price didn't give us anything to work with. So this is the situations where the trend is too strong and a big expansion to the upside. But you can see that the concept of, this is what, let's talk about this. Let's go to the 5 minute. Yes, the 5 minutes. Or let's go to the 3 minutes. Yeah, the 3 minute, it looks better on the 3 minute. Isn't this right here the SNDR? And price failed to close above it. So again, when I work with sweeps, I take internal sweeps from lows inside this move and preferably the low of the SNDR. I talked about it in many videos, previous videos. Or I can take the first top, second top scenario. But you can see that the SNDR beautifully pushed price to the upside. The one responsible for the break above this. Let's go back to the 1 minute. So basically the structure happened here, the break of structure. And there was no pullback into the previous range. Let's visit the higher time frame once again, so we don't get lost. Okay, so beautifully, now we are seeing what? Before we started the session, we were seeing sweeps on both sides of the market. But now we are seeing sweeps on the sell side, and also we are seeing closures above the buy side, or the buy side, right? So that indicates we are in an uptrend. Let's go back to the 1 minute. We are in a pullback right now, and you can really capitalize on these on the lower time frames. This right here is the previous range. We tapped perfectly into the 30%. We are still bearish. See how we didn't close above this zone? So this looks like first top, second top. I need a body closure. So this is a scenario of the direct previous swing. I want to see body closure above this. Okay, so we do have a body closure. Excuse me. I'm targeting the imbalance. Okay, so unfortunately we didn't have that once again. We tapped into the imbalance, liquidating these low resistance liquidity. So let's remove this. Again, I work with low hanging fruit. A lot of times price will give me that. In this case, it did give me this, and I didn't notice it. I apologize. I was forwarding price too quickly. So after the break of this and also this, we did have like a top into here, right? A pullback into it. But my low hanging fruit has been topped, which is this one right here. And the imbalance right above them. Okay, so what do we see right here? Now this does look like a higher time frame pullback, right? Just like we talked about here. This is the top of the range, and this was the previous pullback, right? You can definitely see a scenario like this. Or in the lower time frame, it can be something like this. This is like a first top, second top, maybe like this, okay? But we're gonna let the lower time frame, so you can notice that I can read the higher time frame from the lower time frame. You don't need to go back to the higher time frame, although it's preferably that you do it at first, but you can see what's going on from the lower time frame. You can definitely see a reaction from this zone, maybe a pulls back into maybe a pullback to mitigate this zone. We have a sweep here, still the direct previous swing. Okay, now the break of structure. And also the, oh my god, I think I missed this again. So basically this was the previous zone. And price taps into it here, break above it. And we do have that taps into it, return back, the retest. Yeah, I missed that. So originally, it's gonna be something like this. And then taking 1R. Although this still looks, we still didn't top the 50% or the 30% of the zone. So let's see if price is gonna give me a retest. Okay, so it did give me the retest, but I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we don't have time left on the New York session, but this was supposed to be the entry from here. Just like the filters, we don't take direct swings until we see the previous swing gets broken or the previous zone gets broken, and we take the retest. So it's supposed to be something like this. And we tapped into that imbalance. Alright, so I believe that this is the end of this video. It was quite a long backtesting session. And if you enjoyed it, although it took only one trade, but I moved price too quickly in this right here, and also price didn't see also this retest. Price didn't give me that entry from here by one tick. It was a strange session. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, my DM is always open. And happy trading and good luck.